What is going on, gamers? We are here, Total Extreme Wrestling 2020, back once again. Chris, we are coming live right after the pay-per-view here. Now we're
Yeah,
building
we're
up.
right here, right after Uncensored.
We're building up to the Great
And
American Bash
it's
4
the
weeks.
road to Great American Bash.
Yeah, it's gonna be our old school
Very
style pay-per-view.
historic pay-per-view. Yeah, very historic pay-per-view.
What's going on Nitro? This is the show right after Uncensored, so let's see what you have in
So
store
we,
for us.
we had some pre-show stuff obviously going on. The newly formed team of Pepper Parks and Gunnar Miller came out there, and it was had good wrestling, decent crowd reaction, and they actually defeat the Clones when Gunnar Miller pinned Orlando Colon following the running shoulder tackle. Gunnar Miller was the weak link, though. Pepper Parks was off his game, but everything, all in all, he was off his game, but still ended up pulling in the 77, the best in the match.
That's the funniest. When you're off your game, but you still do better than everyone else.
And then also on the pre-show, we had the Rule take on the Deaners. The Rulebook coming off a pretty impressive performance in their tag title match, coming up just short. They got the win over the Deaners. The Deaners continue to deal with troubles. Al Jones distracted Cody Deaner in this match. All in all, 6-9, pretty good pre-show match. Gonna continue to work on both those teams there.
69. Nice.
69. We got a 65 here. We had great heat, decent wrestling. Brody King defeats Rhino with the Gonzo Bomb.
Gonzo Bomb. What is that? Is that just like a... Have you ever seen him do that?
I don't know. I don't know what a Gonzo Bomb is.
I'm really intrigued now if it's like a power
I gotta
bomb
check
or...
this out. After we film this, we might have to go check out the Gonzo Bomb.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool.
After you watch this video, guys, go check out the Gonzo Bomb yourself.
Yeah, tell us, how many Gonzo Bombs out of 10 would you give this video? Hopefully they're good Gonzo Bombs too, so...
Yeah, okay, so pre-show over, kick into the main show. Eddie Edwards comes out, and he's the newly crowned WCW World Heavyweight Champion. And he's out there talking about how he did always say he was going to be Mr. WCW, and he's going to continue to prove that day in and day out, and there's no one that's going to be able to stop him. Cue the NWO comes out. You got Eric Bischoff leading his troops to the ring. You got Davey Boy Smith, Alexander Hammerstone, the new United States North American champion. You got Rockstar Spud coming off a great performance in the ladder match, coming up just short. You got another guys, Jacob Fatu, Joey Machete, came up just short. And of course, you got the lovely Miss NWO. So they're out there, they're talking back and forth. Eric says, well, you know what? At Great American Bash, you're going to take on Davey Boy Smith Jr. for that title, because I feel like Davey Boy was the man who should have truly won that triple threat last night. And I believe you were just a fraud of a champion, and Davey will teach you that at the pay-per-view. End scene.
End scene. Because when you're NWO for life. I don't know why I'm tired of time.
In a decent match, Charlie Tiger defeats Tommy Dreamer and New Jack in a hardcore match, and Charlie Tiger pinned New Jack. That was his first defense of his WCW World Hardcore title. Charlie carried the match. New Jack took a stunt bump during the match. Tommy Dreamer's getting better at his gimmick. The announcing lifted the match. All in all, pretty good stuff. I like to see Charlie Tiger continue to raise his overall in-ring performance.
Yeah, he's getting better. I mean, he's doing better than New Jack with the 44 in ring, so...
Well, that's the thing, is it's mainly about getting these young guys over at this point.
Yeah, just putting the experience on them.
And here we got, speaking of young guys, we got Alexander Hammerstone comes out to the ring, says, you know what? I want to show that the North American title is one of the most prestigious titles on the planet. And with that, I'm going to defend it every Monday Night Nitro. I'm going to show that I am truly the man who deserves this belt. And I'm truly going to represent not only North America, but the entire world. And anyone who has the balls to come out here and face me, come on out and take the whooping like a man. And with that, the young Royce Isaacs makes his way to the ring to accept the challenge from Alexander Hammerstone. End scene. In a bout that had superb wrestling and great heat, Alexander Hammerstone defeats Royce Isaacs in 12:35 with a Stonebreaker. Alexander Hammerstone makes defense one of his North American Championship. He got a 90 in ring. Royce Isaacs had an 85. Don't know how that reached only an 81 then at that point.
Dude, come on. It's common core math. For anyone that's just outside of America, probably has no idea how bad of a thing that is, but common core math, bro. You put the one fish, the two fish, you get -5 fish somehow. So it's just math.
In the next segment, you got Al Jones and Zeta Zhang having Vincent and David Arquette follow them as they are trying to book a tropical vacation via the Colognes. And everything gets mixed up because of some false passports that were handed to them that were expired as they were trying to go on vacation. This causes an argument between Vincent and Carlito. Everyone starts shoving, and then all of a sudden, a giant brawl breaks out between the three guys, and Zeta Zhang even gets involved in this, completely going after Brian Myers. And Brian Myers with that actually would end up smacking Zeta Zhang with his cane, leading to the following match.
I like to think that it wasn't like an intentional one. It was like a dummy, like he turns around, just bops.
It was he tried to get Al Jones, but Al Jones got out the way.
Oh, it's a violent one. Then it's like a a pretty good match. That's pretty good.
And about that superb wrestling, great heat or good heat. Al Jones defeats Brian Myers via submission in 7:31, an 82 match, an 80 from See, and that's an actual rating for this kind of. I like that match rating compared to the ring performance of both individuals.
Yeah, that's where it helps you.
I don't think I did that well there. Here we got Eddie Edwards talking to FTR saying, okay, we got the match for the main event. I need to find 2 guys to help me take down the NWO. The NWO will continue to be a cancer. I've been trying to tell people that the NWO will take this whole show over if we let it. If we cannot unite up against them, they are a unit. We need a unit to take them out. Are you guys with me? FTR just looks at him. Both shake their heads as the 3 men all of a sudden all walk into Eddie Edwards' locker room to start planning for the match. End scene. And next up, we got a scene from the Tonight Show with James Corden, obviously featuring his boys, YDMB. You got Jordan Oliver, you got Griffin McCoy, you got Charlie Tiger, the hardcore champion, who fresh off defending his hardcore title. And you got Ellis Taylor. And then he's sitting there talking about how they are the greatest. They will be taking over this show, and there's nothing the NWO Exotic can do about it. There's nothing the Colognes can do about it. There's nothing the Flock can do about it. There's nothing anyone can do about it.
Props out for the new pictures, by the way. They're nice.
Yeah, very much. They were great. All great pictures. And in a bout that had superb wrestling, great heat, Jordan Oliver actually defeated Mike Bennett in 13:26. During the match, we also had Bagul would distract Mike Bennett via having Rosemary in his arms up in the rafters as he sat there and shook her above the rafters. And that would lead Mike Bennett's attention away. Jordan Oliver would drill him with the running knee to get the pinfall. And scene. And after the match, more antics from Bagul with Rosemary as the lights would go out, and then he would appear on the stage with Rosemary as you would see Raven and the rest of the flock join Bennett in the ring as they head up toward the ramp. toward Bagul, who had Rosemary in his clutches, as he would ascend down into the stage via a ring of fire before the thing completely closed off. And then when they opened it, there was no sign of Bagul or Rosemary.
Where is Rosemary? Oh.
In an exceptional match, Humberto Garza defeats Rockstar Spud via submission in 12:41. They don't seem to be they're not able to click in the ring, but that's okay. It's still got an 85 for not being able to click in the ring. That's saying something.
Yeah, that's true.
Next scene. And in our main event, we have an bout that had superb wrestling, great heat. David Boy Smith and Warbeast defeat Eddie Edwards and FTR. When David Boy Smith submitted Eddie Edwards with the sharpshooter, Eddie was trying to get the tag in, but both of FTR just jumped off the apron. Both looked at him in disgust and just watched from the outside as Eddie Edwards would tap out to the sharpshooter. Joe Machete was the weak link there. And what did he get? He still got a 60, which is okay. But Jacob Fatu is going way above and beyond him at this current point. Already pulling in 89s regular.
I know.
Obviously, Eddie pulled in a 93, 87 from Cash Wheeler, 91 from KC McKnight, 90 from Davey Boy Smith Jr. Match had the crowd buzzing.
Buzzing like bees, but what happened after?
After the match, actually, both of FTR would get in the ring. Cash Wheeler would pick him up in a pile driver position as Casey McKnight came from the top rope as they pile drove him to the mat before they picked him up, sent him against the ropes, rebounding into a giant shatter machine to close the show as they stand victoriously above the fallen Eddie Edwards, your current World Heavyweight Champion.
I was like, is it gonna let me click it? There we go. Pretty darn good show there. 89. Pretty great way to finish it off here in front of 9,082 fans in the Mitchell Center. Next up, we take you guys onward to Thunder. Alright, party people, we're here back now for a Thunder, kicking it off right after the pay-per-view. WCW Thunder presents to you Frontline coming out strong. You got EC3 holding the World Championship over his shoulder, proudly saying that he is the face of WCW, whether it's Thunder or Nitro or main eventing a pay-per-view. He does something that no one else can do, and that's defend the WCW World Championship. There's people before him, like the great Ric Flair, for instance, the dirtiest player in the game, and he had to do a couple things he wasn't proud of, but he aligned himself with some horsemen. I align myself amongst the front line. You can target me all you want, but as long as I have OVE with me, and OVE does stand for Ohio versus everyone, and that's what the front line is, fighting everyone. And then out comes Great Muta, brings out the Muta scale, and he says, Ethan, you talk about fighting everyone and putting a target on you, but you're blind. These men, they beat you just this past Thunder. Your target's fallen. Your world championship will fall next. And Ethan says, who are you? You see, Muta, you've fallen from greatness time after time after time, whether it be in Japan, America, everywhere in between. So I don't need to listen to a bitter old man. So Muta, OVE here will take care of your boys, the Bushido Warriors. Akira, look at Muta. He says that you're destined for greatness. I think you can be much more. Watch me tonight in the main event, and I'll show you how it's done. After that, we have the Bushido Warriors taking on OVE. However, OVE is able to get the best here of the Bushido Warriors as Dave Christ hits a shooting star press on Kota Sakafuda. Pretty good match here. Following that match, though, EC3 and Great Muta do get in each other's faces as EC3 is running out there to go and attack the Bushido Warriors. Great Muta jumps up to save him with a big old green mist. And EC3 is left crawling back, heading back up to the locker room, up the ramp. After that, we have Eddie Kingston backstage shoving Glam Sexico and Awesome Kong's getting into the face of him because Glam Sexico has apparently been trying on Awesome Kong's gear, and he's like, I like this look. Eddie Kingston's like, you know what? You're a freak. I have no respect for you, and I'm gonna do something that they won't allow on television. So how about this? After the lights go out, after Paramount shuts us down, just you, me, on the network. Whatever happens, happens. We'll go out there. We'll paint the town. We'll paint the entire ring red. You know what? We'll get some barbed wire. You bring some of your favorite toys. I'll bring mine. Just me, just you, nobody else. Winner takes all. And you know what? I'll even take your mask off for you. After that, though, big match here with Mark Andrews taking on Kyle Fletcher. Mark Andrews getting the best of him here with the Dragon Suplex. A pretty good match. With a follow-up after that, we cut to the one and the only Buff Bagwell and Brian Pillman Jr. after they've been carted away and they've been arrested. They're now seen at a local penitentiary. They're at an asylum. They're sitting there together, and they're actually sharing their own little cells together, going back and forth, yelling at one another. Buff saying, you did all this, you ruined everything. I treated Kylie like a true lady. I treated her like a gem. Brian said, no, you exploited her and put her in a mental hospital. You're everything that's wrong with the society. And Buff says, no, man, you got this twisted. You're viewing this from a whole different perspective, man. I want to give her everything. And Brian Pillman said, no, you ruined her. And these two are just bickering back and forth. And Claire see, there's no end to this. These two men are now stuck in prison together. After that, we have Kizzy and Walter fighting it out here with Walter. Big old golden bomb with a quick win on Kizzy. After that, Jim Cornette is right there to congratulate Walter, but that's when Johnny Ace comes down with Cass XL and all hell breaks loose. Jim Cornette pulls out his famous little tennis racket, goes to town, smashing Johnny Ace's freaking scooter, and that's when he pulls out the skateboard and they're clashing back and forth. Walter and Cass XL were brawling it out. Just an utter chaos unfolding here between everybody. But after all that and all the chaos unfolds, when we come back from commercial break, we have Simeon Johnson and the Von Erichs Next Generation here, of course, taking on Zaya Brookside and Cyberhawk Unlimited. Just a fun little team there. I thought they would go together. Simeon Johnson able to get the win here by taking Zaya Brookside and tapping her out. So pretty good there, getting some experience for those young bucks, I guess you would say. After that, though, Alberto, Patron, Angel Rose, they come out, they roll out the carpet. They got some chairs placed down on the ring side, and they sit down with Simeon Johnson. And that's when Alberto and Angel, they put their little fingertips together, seeing the mommy and poppy symbol. And they say, Simeon Johnson, the Pebble, as I call you. You see, you're part of this next generation, and I see the way you look at mommy, and you're jealous of her and everything she's accomplished. Look at that championship over her shoulder. Look at this championship on mine. This is something your father never could have done. Your father was stuck in the old era. Right here. I don't need no world title. I don't need no cruiserweight, no hardcore, no you undisputed United States, whatever championship. Me and Poppy and Mommy is the greatest thing to happen to WCW. And you know it. And your father knows it, and that's why he's afraid to show up here. And in fact, I want your father to watch what we're about to go to you. And that's when Angel Rose, boom, hits her with the chair. And Alberto Patron starts putting a submission lock on her as security has to go in. As they're trying to back up, Alberto and Angel are heading back. Simeon Johnson's like holding her arm as security is going and carrying her out. And she's been hurt and medical attention's got to provide for her. After that, Sammy G, though, backstage, he says, hey, television championship, I got a new look for it here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what I call the Paramount Championship. Yes, Paramount, thank you to the best network in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, that sounds much better than some television title. And I've actually been cleared that I don't have to defend this title every single week. But I will defend it tonight for a very special man named TJP. He thinks that he's better than me and that I'm influenced by him. Nah, I'm going to show you I'm my own man here tonight. And that's what Sammy G does. He goes out there and takes on TJP in a pretty darn good match as he's able to get the 630 and defend for his first defense for the Paramount Championship. Following that, we cut to backstage where we see Vampiro had been dragged out from the bathroom where he'd been taking a bathroom break for commentary when Tico, Orion, and Van Marcelo are seen beating the crap out of him, beating him down, just wondering what's going on here as NetherRealm leaves him in a bloody, just on the ground. Like, what happened to him? And then in the main event, we have Marty Scurll actually coming out, beating EC3 after hitting a graduation on him. But that's only because Great Muta distracted EC3 with the mist once again. And then in our post-show here, in our first, this is to test this out. If you guys haven't realized this now, there's been some big updates for TEW 2020. Some of them have included where the post and pre-show, now you can do some risky stuff. And so I wanted to try this out, and that's primarily what this was all about here. So Eddie Kingston able to go on and defeat Glam Sexico here in a barbed wire match with a blackout lariat. Pretty good here. Pretty cool to see that we can do that now. It wasn't like the best, and math doesn't make sense, of course, because of the things, but yeah, we can do that, and it's made it easier also to move segments around. So I just want to put that out there. All in all, pretty good Thunder. I'm pretty happy with it. Where we're going forward, and thank you, Chris, once again for joining me. And we will see everybody next time. Peace out.